What is up, Bat Family? Welcome to a brand new breakdown for the Batgirl movie. If you aren't aware already, the Batgirl movie in of itself is something to look forward to because I'm just looking forward to seeing an actual live-action Batgirl movie, but the reason why this somewhat solidifies the somewhat pavement forward in the DCEU is because we know that post-Flashpoint, Michael Keaton, well, is in the Flash movie, as you're somewhat seeing on screen right now. We know Ben Affleck is leaving. He's getting an exit in the Flashpoint movie, and the Batgirl movie, guess who is somewhat in that movie? Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne / Batman, alongside the Snyderverse's J.K. Simmons Commissioner Gordon, meaning that this movie is kind of taking the post-Flashpoint fix with the new characters going forward. And what this video is about is that we've got some set photos from the Batgirl movie, which is giving us some very, very interesting tidbits to speculate about. Now, the source that I'm going to be using is from the Batgirl film page on Twitter. I do recommend following them. I do want to make a note of how the credit is on the screen of the photo. For example, Andrew Milligan for PA Wire and various other people who took these photos is linked on the actual photo itself of the screen recording, just so you know where the credit is, due. But this is the Twitter page that is hosting these photographs, and the reason why this is going to be quite an interesting video for us all to discuss in the comments is what these photographs provide, and that is of a little bit of a hint to what Michael Keaton's Batman got up to after the last time we saw him in the continuity of his film, so to speak. And that is, long story short, as you're seeing on screen, a Batman and Robin mural has been put up for the movie to kind of, just add that world building of, oh, look, there's some art or street art that's been done of Batman and Robin, and how this can actually lead to the long-awaited Nightwing movie, which, if you don't know already, a Nightwing movie has been in the works for the longest time. It's been rewritten, it's been done from the ground up again and again, and it's never really properly got moving, and I guess that wasn't massively helpful in how Snyder made it, that Dick Grayson was the one who died in BVS and not Jason Todd. That was the Robin armor, but now, post-Flashpoint, as you can kind of gather from this video, with Keaton being the new Bruce Wayne / Batman, that this Robin on that mural is most likely Dick Grayson, and that means in the post-Flashpoint movie continuity during Batgirl that maybe he has already grown up and become Nightwing, and this could lead to a Nightwing solo movie at some point quite down the line, I'm guessing, after Batgirl. Not immediately or anything like that, it's just meant to be like, oh, well, if this Robin grew up and became Nightwing and Bloodhaven, etc., etc., and he was Michael Keaton's Robin, then I guess we could finally do that Nightwing movie now. So let's dive into these set photos and start discussing. Do subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with Batgirl Movie and all kinds of other videos on this channel that I'm sure you will enjoy, and give this video a like only if you do go on to enjoy it. So first of all, we have Leslie Grace, who is the new Barbara Gordon and Batgirl in her somewhat GCPD get-up. I mean, this photo that we're seeing right here is her spotted in Springburn, Glasgow. I do like how Glasgow is quite the Gotham location. If you aren't aware already, they're reusing some set locations from that of the Batman that Matt Reeves chose to help forge and construct his Gotham City, but also in Batgirl. So, it clearly has that Gothic, as Matt Reeves has gone on to detail, like these locations like Liverpool or, Glasgow, they have a very Gotham City, Gothic-y kind of vibe. Here we see Leslie Grace in the GCPD, I guess, t-shirt or sweater there, whatever you want to call it. And for those of you who, some people are thinking, wait, what, this isn't Barbara Gordon, like, she's not part of the GCPD. Well, there definitely are takes where she very much so does follow in these footsteps of her father, Jim. So seeing Barbara here, I guess, from the photograph that the directors gave us a while back, having her own office in the GCPD, with the Barbara Gordon name plaque there, it's all kind of like, it's almost like a Dick Grayson kind of thing, being a detective whilst also being Nightwing. And I do feel like that's going to come across quite nicely in the movie. I like the idea of our vigilante, especially Batgirl, being in the police department whilst also going out there as one of the Bat family members. But this is where we get onto, I guess, the main chunk of information, and that is this mural that they're putting up on set. And as you can tell, it's like a bunch of fake bricks. They're moving it to the desired location. I think they were doing it up a little bit. But what's very interesting about this is that, as we know, the Batman of this Batgirl movie, since, just to repeat myself once more, post-Flashpoint, what's been carried over is Ben Affleck's Commissioner Gordon, J.K. Simmons, he's staying, but in this world, this is the Batman, and it turns out that he has a Robin now, and this is the discussion that I feel like can be mainly fleshed out in this video. The funny thing is, and this isn't mega uncommon when doing design work, as you can see on screen right now, I trust, where they're moving the mural here, you can see the reference photos they've actually used to make this Batman. So if I go to the actual full screenshot, you can clearly see that this is meant to be Michael Keaton's Batman with potentially an upgraded suit, but also with a Robin there. However, it is clearly a little bit of a different suit. Like, the main gist is that, oh look, it's yellow bat emblem, similar-esque bat logo to Keaton's, but as we all somewhat half expected, even though this does slightly contradict the Flash concept art and where he seemed to be appearing or reappearing in the Flash movie in his Batman Returns suit, in the Flash movie maybe as other suits. To put all of that to one side, that none of that really matters, because clearly, as you can see with the reference images that people are bringing up now, if I can freaking find the image, here we go. For example, you can see what images they've somewhat traced to make this artwork for the movie, and even the little bold lines in the background, I've seen other posts of people saying that it's actually from a photo that they've traced similar to that of Mass Effect's Citadel. Now, if you're familiar with Mass Effect, the Citadel and the kind of like large massive structures that come across in those bold streaks, like in the background of this Batman and Robin photo, the mural. It's basically, long story short, they've traced images of Batman, existing images, this existing image of Robin down to the very pose of where his hand is, and even the background of some larger background art from... It's basically not necessarily copy and pasting, but making their own transformative movie mural image out of those other artworks. Now, the reason why I say I don't really want to get carried away with, oh, does this mean that the Keaton suit after his last appearance as Batman looks like this? Not necessarily, because as we can tell, due to these being traced images of these images, it does seem like you can't really rely on this being an upgraded suit, because the interesting thing is that the cowl looks quite a bit different. But I think overall we're just meant to take away that in this world, someone in Gotham City, a character, a citizen, has sprayed this on the wall. It's not really meant to be looked at as concrete, canonical. This is what the Batsuit looks like. This is what Robin looks like. I would advise not to look at it at that specific lens or through that specific lens. But what we can take out of this is that, oh, Robin exists. Like, he is definitely there, and considering that this could be also a very old graffiti, for example, within Gotham City, it goes back to what I was saying earlier with regards to Robin having grown up to become Nightwing, and yes, I am going to say this is Dick Grayson. The Robin suit, you could argue, it's like, oh, that could be Jason Todd as well, because clearly Tim Drake had quite a bit of a different Robin suit. I'm going to say it's Dick Grayson just because with the post-Flashpoint movie continuity, with Warner Brothers kind of bringing things, new things coming into the DCEU after that movie, but also getting rid of some things that you may have heard that they are basically getting rid of, like Batfleck and stuff, bringing in the news such as Supergirl, Keaton, etc., etc. Well, they're also bringing in the fact that Keaton trained a Robin, and this can now lend and benchmark and springboard, so to speak, the Nightwing movie that I'm guessing we're going to get the announcement of in the next 2 to 4 years, give or take. I could be wrong about that. But it's just interesting. There are other little secrets as well. Not necessarily secrets, but world-building things that we should look out for in this Batgirl movie. Because in some of the other photos, you can clearly see here, in this one I'm hearing on screen, that it does look like there's some background artwork or posters that are being put up. Just like this fake wall mural that's going to be like pretending to be a real wall in the movie. If you guys remember some of my coverage of the set photos of the Batman, you know, there was posters being put up everywhere. Again, it's just kind of set design, adding into the world. Well, here we have some of that with Batgirl again, like the mural, but here we have posters of who seems to be a Hugo Strange looking type person. Now, if you zoom in enough where the black kind of scrubbed out marks are over the eyes, I do believe he is wearing glasses, but regardless, he doesn't have a beard. But in this iteration, maybe he doesn't. I know that would alienate some fans, but clearly here, it would be weird for me to not acknowledge how that's a very Hugo Strange looking smile. know. I mean, it's nice of the Batgirl Film News to put the little PNG of Hugo Strange there, just to show you a comparison to how in this poster where it says excellent, and we have this guy like this. It is very Hugo Strange-like. What we know in Batgirl is, I believe, not only do we have Brendan Fraser's Firefly, we have other characters being expanded upon. I'm not saying the movie is going to consist of multiple villains, but with the new DCEU post-Flashpoint, meaning that we have a Bruce Wayne Batman as in Michael Keaton, this could mean so many opportunities for world building and establishing the new status quo of whatever is whatever, right? And that could mean, does Gotham City look like Tim Burton's Gotham City now? In my recent Batgirl videos, I've said maybe they could do it like Blade Runner. Blade Runner, the original film, had a specific look of the city. However, with the modern Blade Runner 2049, with Denis Villeneuve's vision of it, he maintained it, but it was modernized. So I wonder if they're going to maintain the Tim Burton Gotham City look, but modernize it, if you know what I mean. Or maybe they won't. Maybe now, in the Batgirl movie, we have Michael Keaton's Bruce and Batman, but maybe the Tim Burton Gotham look is gone, because then it begs the questions of, okay, if we are getting a modernized Tim Burton's Gotham, well, what about phones? I mean, I know this is years later, I suppose, so I guess you could argue that the technology will be modern-day DCEU kind of smartphone stuff. However, what I find interesting is in the photograph with what the directors gave us of Barbara Gordon's office in the GCPD, she had like a Windows 98 looking monitor in the background. So that all those things kind of confuse me a little bit. I don't want to read too into it. I do believe that Gotham City, regardless, will have modern day tech. I think it would be weird to imagine Leslie Grace's Batgirl having a massive dial-up phone kind of thing. I'm sure she does have a smartphone. It's just I'm guessing Gotham might have a bit of old-timey props here and there as well to kind of make that animated series or Tim Burton-esque kind of vibe with a bit of modern yet historic feel. A perfect example of that is the Fox's Gotham TV show, where it had this somewhat timeless feel to it with both new and old technology. If we look at the Bat photo on the mural on the wall a little bit closer, that part on his chin isn't a chin strap, I don't believe. I think it is just the shadow of his chin, so the new cowl, if you will, for this Keaton Batman, because for all intents and purposes, just to let everyone know for a fact, this is meant to be an art or a graffiti of Michael Keaton's Batman in universe, since, you know, he's the Batman and Bruce of Batgirl's world, post-Flashpoint. However, again, we can't literally take this for a fact as to what that looks like, given the fact that the artists for the movie clearly reused and repurposed and made transformative old images and Batman and Robin arts to make this one. Say what you will about that, but I think that is just a shadow on the chin, and the cowl does kind of come across like, you know, a bit more of a modernized cowl. It is kind of what I would expect of Michael Keaton's Batman to somewhat go from the old 80s return suit, which looks a bit newbie. You know, I love it, don't get me wrong, but a bit newbie by modern day standards. And it is kind of a modernized version of what I would feel Tim Burton's Batman would look like, basically. However, again, just to stress this a lot, this doesn't mean it's going to look like that, or like Keaton does look like that, or even the fact that he has white eyes. People are already saying, wait, does this mean that Michael Keaton's Batman, and even in Batgirl, if we see him suit up again, or even in the Flash movie, will he have white eyes? Again, I would just take it as a thug, or just, maybe not even a thug, by the way, because I don't get why they would graffiti Batman on the Gotham City wall, but whoever did this in-universe probably just did that, gave him white eyes. I wouldn't say that explicitly means that Michael Keaton's Batman went on to upgrade his suit with white eyes. You know, I really wouldn't expect that. Plus, considering he is in a bit more of a mentor role in this film, I don't expect him to be massively suiting up. I feel like he might do in The Flash, considering in The Flash concept art, we see Baza Allen in suit, but also Keaton in his Batman Returns suit. I expect something there, and I'm also not expecting for him to be like Kingdom Come, kind of supported by a mech frame, frail. I know Keaton is getting on a little bit, but I'm not saying he's quite there yet, but I don't expect him to be like full on like Batman. A good way to put it, if you do watch Titans, yes, the Batman in that is Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones, Ser Jorah Mormont, Khaleesi, you know. However, they did show how a good job of how an older Batman, and in maybe the scene that you're seeing on screen right now, can still be really fast and agile. And I can imagine if he is mentoring Batgirl in this movie, we might get some cool scenes like this in the Batcave or something like that. But it is nice to see that in the world building of this movie, that this likely here, like, Mural just speaks to the larger world building, that after the continuity of the Tim Burton Batman movies, he went on, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more on Flashpoint anyway before this movie comes out. He got a Robin, that was Dick Grayson. We see this in the photo. The city knows of the Batman and Robin, and he probably grew up to become Nightwing, and that will pave way low-key for the Nightwing movie coming in the next half a decade. I'm guessing. I know we've got Nightwing and Titans, but I think they're ready now to branch off of this post-Flashpoint continuity. A whole new world, Supergirl, now Robin turned Nightwing, see when he pops up. And it's very, very fascinating. And as I said, we've got other things to keep an eye on, like that possible Hugo Strange teaser there. But I think that is everything we have to report on today and break down. So I'd love to know your thoughts on not only this in general, but your thoughts on my thoughts. I don't think I've missed anything out. Like, it was really just to focus on a couple of photos and the larger repercussions of what this means in universe and the ripple effect this has. And that obviously meant possible Nightwing movie, which I do feel like is a given. Like, I really would almost put a chip or two on that. And yeah, just like the discussion of everything else. I am very much so looking forward to this Batgirl movie. I know not everyone is super happy about the rumors of what the end of the Flash movie might establish, but I am still choosing to be optimistic with the chess pieces that I've just been given. You know, I am excited for the Batgirl movie, definitely. I don't know how to feel about some things, like if they are getting rid of certain people. Batfleck was an inevitability for me, but if the Henry Cavill stuff is true, that's a bit like, we're going to have to wait and see for that. But from what I can assess from this movie, with just adjusting my lens to only see this in the tunnel vision, I'm very excited for this. I really, really am. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments, what you think this means for the future of the DCEU continuity. Do you agree that means Nightwing movie? Other than that, guys, like this video if you did enjoy. Do subscribe for more updates just like this. As always, links to follow me on Twitter, even Facebook or Instagram are in the top pinned comment. Join my Discord server there as well. I do encourage you to check out the other links like my Teespring store to help support the channel. Maybe get yourself a piece of Boba merch. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, looking forward to reading your comments, and I'll see you Bat family in the next video. Goodbye.